crafty friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today I want to share this really cool card with you. It's a mini me puppets card and I'm doing mine a little bit differently. You can see here mine is on an oval and I've put it on an easel card, so when your card is open it will sit like so. And our little puppet will sit there and she will wave her little balloon which says it's cake day. I just love that. I've done my little mini me puppet as my sister Andrea. It's her birthday in February, so I thought, you know what? I like to make cards, making them for someone, and I thought, yeah, I'll make this for Andrea. So it's kind of hard to get it all on the screen, but it's an 8x8 card base that this is on because, you know, go big or go home. You can use this puppet on an A2 card. Sam from Mixed Up Crafts has got lots of tutorials for it, and I'll leave some links to her tutorials down below, but I just thought this would be really cool. Now you might notice with my card I don't have any stopper for my easel to sit on, and that's because I've put a tent fold in the back. So this is my tent fold, and when the card is sitting up, it sits in like that and keeps it in place. Now, there is a bit of weight from our mini me, and that's helping, but I have found that the tent fold, it just sits into place there, and I think it's easy for the recipient, if they're not a card maker, or just get, you know, standard cards from a shop. I've given easel cards to people and they've ended up standing them up like that on their mantelpiece, and I'm like, what are you doing? But I think this is pretty explanatory. And you can see there how nicely it's sitting in. I'll have a little video and pictures at the end of the tutorial, but I love this idea. I think going forward, if I'm making an easel card, I'm going to put that little tent fold in there. It just stands so much bigger. So this is the card we're going to make using the latest mini collection from Mixed Up Crafts. It's the Made to Surprise mini me puppets. And yeah, I had such fun making this, and I have so many great ideas. I can imagine doing a little puppet where she's jumping up and down rather than just waving a hand like this one is. I can imagine her actually jumping up and down from this mechanism. So watch this space. I will have more cards coming, but Sam has loads of tutorials on her channel and on the Craft Stash channel, and I'll leave links to them down below. But this is my mini me easel card puppet, or something along those lines. You'll have seen it in the thumbnail what I eventually decide to call it. But yeah, so let's have a look at the products that I use to make this card. So my card base, as you would have seen, is an 8x8 card base, but I didn't have any in my stash, so I made one myself. First of all, you're going to need a piece of 8.5x8, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch, and that's going to give me my top fold card for my easel. I've put some double-sided tape on it. I'll probably add a little bit of glue as well, but this is going to be the back of my card. Now you can see I have a little stamping done here already, so don't mind that for a minute. I also have a piece of 8x8. I've scored it on any side at 4 inches, and that's going to give us our fold for our easel. So I'll just fold that over, and we are going to have our score line going horizontal, and then this will stick on to the top of my card base here, and that's going to give me an 8x8 card base. Now, normally with an easel card, it folds up like this. You have something on the front, which you have seen already, but we put a stopper here and I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to make this a tent fold here. So to make the tent fold, I have a piece of white cardstock. Now, this piece, it measures 8 inches by 7.5. I've scored it at this way around. Oh, I do apologize. I've scored it at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, 7.5. And I'm going to fold it with this as a valley, and this score is a valley. This one is a mountain, and this one is a valley, because we want it to sit like this. So it's like a W with a little kicker there at the top. So this is going to sit onto, if I bring this back in, this piece is going to sit on here and come up, and then this piece is going to be attached inside. So this tab is going to attach up near the score line here, like so. And you can see here, I didn't bring it the whole way out. I don't feel it needed it. And this one then is going to fold up like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this piece down first, and I'm going to stick that down close to the bottom. And then once I have that in place, I'll then take my little tab here and I'll stick that down. And you can see it won't be up against the top. I've left that for it to fold better. So then our 10 folds will be under there, and then the weight of what's going to be on here then will help this piece to stand. So it'll stand up like that. Okay, so next of all, I've then taken a piece of white cardstock as well as some pattern paper. Now the pattern paper that I'm using here is this one. It's the Made to Surprise, the best of, and I have a list down in the description. Some of the products that I link to are affiliate links. It won't cost you anything extra. I'll just get a little kickback. It helps me to purchase products that I use in my videos. So this is the best of, and I've used this polka dot one. So I took a piece of white cardstock, 8x8, and a piece of the pattern paper. I glued them together using my Kalal glue, because it's going to dry hard. Whereas when you use a white glue, they dry softer. That's the only way I can explain it. So I took a die from my stash, and I used these. They're the old Creative Craft products, oval dies, nestables. Now Creative Craft products, they've changed the logo and the colors, but any dies that you have in your stash will be great. Now I've used the largest die, and this die measures 6.5 by 7 3/4, but just use what you have in your stash. And I use that to die cut out an oval. Now I wasn't thinking, I just plonked it down on the cardstock and I die cut it out. But in hindsight, because I had an idea afterwards of putting it on the base here, which you've seen in the finished card, so my piece, it's only let me see, did I make a note of it? It is only a little over 7 inches, 7 1/8. I cut mine down to fit on the base of my easel card. So my recommendation is cut a piece of patterned paper, whatever, 7, let's see, my die cuts out 7 3/4, so I would go 7 7/8 by 7 7/8 is what you could do. I'm only doing this because I was mean and didn't want to throw this piece away. I thought, what a waste of pattern paper. But I mean, embellish the inside however you want. The main thing is you want to die cut out your oval, which I've done. So I'm going to use this inside. You don't have to if you don't want to. Now, I've taken these dies here. They're from the puppets. It's Only More Puppets. It's a 5x7 mechanism for the puppets. I got this one previously. What I did was I took the oval die cut that I've used and I fed it in through like this. I fed that in there, and then I kind of curved this around so that it would come under here, right? And then I set this in here as straight as I could with the little cutout here to the top, right? And You know me now, getting everything straight. I just tried to see that my corners were more or less the same size. And what this will do, because this side here and here, they cut. And I didn't want to cut my pattern paper. So by doing it this way, it'll cut out my openings here, but it won't cut my pattern paper because they're on top of it rather than under it. Now, the only thing you do need to remember is when you put this through your die cut machine, only come so far down. You only need to come this far down as long as you get the 4 pieces, holes cut out, you're fine. If you come the whole way, it'll cut the bottom off. So be very careful. But I just thought, how can I do this without having to put this down, mark my holes where I want them and do it? And I just thought, well, look, isn't that clever? So, you know, it's up to yourself, however you want to do it. But you want to put your slot and one of the hole openings, because my little miss is only going to be waving one hand with the balloon. So I just need one hole in it, the slot, and then this little piece here. Now, you could do this yourself with a little, a die, you know, use your blade, whatever. But there you go. That's what I've done. So that's this piece for my puppet. And it's going to sit on the top here, like so, with my 10-fold underneath on top of this piece. So now you can see that I have my It's Time to Celebrate, because my piece here is at an odd size. I figure if I gave it the same kind of border, it would look grand. And I thought, well, I can accentuate it. You know, I meant to do this. I'm so crafty clever. So I took some stamps. These are 2 different stamps that I have used. Let me just get them out here for you. Let's see. Oh. So I have used the It's Time To, but this Celebrate was too big to fit in my little gap. So I stamped the It's Time To, and then I took the Celebrate off this word here. So this is the Sentiments A5 stamp set. I made this all by myself stamp set, or the Today is All About You stamp set, whatever you want to call it. But using that little Celebrate with It's Time To gave me my sentiment here. And I just thought it was cool playing on the excess on either side to do that. Now, what do I want to go to next? Okay, so I'm going to have a look at some of the products to make my mini me, or my mini sister, as it's from my sister. So there are 3 different ones in Sam's latest mini collection. So I used the body parts from here. I used the trousers and the top from here. No, actually, I used the top from here. These trousers, and I think that's it. Oh, I used the face from one of these as well, and I stamped the face. With this one, you get die cut, you know, you can die cut out your face, but I just wanted to stamp it, so that's what I did. But there's 3 different lots that you can use. I've also used the Happy Birthday. This is a Creative Craft Products, the A2 Essentials. And I die cut out the shadow in the black and my Happy Birthday in the white. I've also got the balloon that I've used is from this, the Happy Days stamp and die set. Now, a lot of these products are out of stash with Craft Stash. So just choose what you have in your stash if you don't have these exact products. And then for on my balloon, this was a gift that I got from Lou, Lou Collins. She's a fantastic crafter, and she's kind of the face of Craft Stash as well. I used It's Cake Day. Lou sent me this with a card from one of her lives, and yeah, that was in March 24, sorry. So It's Cake Day. This is the Polka Doodles stamp set. So in case you're looking for it, again, I list what I can down below, you know, ask Google if you're looking and I can't find it. So they're all our bits and pieces. With my mini me, I have taken the little t-shirt and I have put my die on here, and what I'll do is I'll die cut down so far, and then take my pencil when this is die cut and extend it. I won't cut it the whole way. I want to make the top a little bit longer, just because my sister likes a longer top that she wears. So, you know, because I can. And again, I've just embellished it using some markers from my stash. I used my Spectrum Noir stamps. I took the little die to do her neck. I used the pants, the trainers. Now with the runners, you can see there's gaps in them, and if I show you those here, you would have seen them on the card. So I just got my little brush and brushed on a little bit of color, and then I took my grey Spectrum Noir pen and I gave her little laces and a not Nike little symbol on there. So yeah, to embellish. I've also got my little hair in there. Now again, what I did was I brought my cutting plate so far down, then I took my die off, extended it, and then I die cut from the other way. So I'm doing partial die cutting both ways to give long hair, because my sister has longer hair than what's on this. So, and then I just freehand cut in between, and that was able then to give me the longer hair. You can kind of see there where I did a little bit of extra cutting. You can see the face there that I stamped, and then I used my Distress Oxide Tattered Rose to stamp the face, and you can see it there, the little face on it. I stamped that down, and then again I took my Spectrum Noir markers. You can use any markers that you have. I gave her the darker brown eyebrows, the peachy pink mouth, I used the Tattered Rose again for the cheeks, and then for the eyes I coloured them in using a white gel pen, and then I put a little blue dot for the pupils. I felt that makes the eyes look better. I don't know, that's just me. I'm kind of weird like that. What else? Oh yes, then we have the legs and the head, and I die cut them out in a kind of a skin flesh tone, for me, a flesh tone coloured cardstock as well. And the majority of the cardstock that I've used for my puppet is the Lidl's Crelando cardstock. It's 280 GSM. You can again use whatever you have in your stash. So these are all my bits and pieces that I have here ready to go. I have everything there. My little brush that I did the cheeks were these. They're new to Craft Stash. They're these little detailed brushes, and they're really, really good. I love them. Very, very handy. And really, I'm going to go around her little arms, do a little bit of ink blending to give her a little bit of texture on her skin, etc. You can do that as well. My balloon, you'll see there, I stamped It's Cake Day on it. I used my glossy accents or accent glaze. It's the Made to Surprise accent glaze. It's a little bit thicker, so although I added water to it, it can give you lines, but Sam has out a new formula now which will be coming to Craft Stash soon, which is much more flowing, you know. So I think that's everything, other than my pull piece for my puppet. I die cut this out twice, and that's part of the dies from the mechanism that I showed you earlier. I have this die cut out twice in 300 GSM, then I die cut out the little arrow in black and I stuck that on top, and that then will come out the top as you would have seen. But they're all the pieces that I have used for my card. It's just a matter of assembly now, and that's what I'm going to do next. So I've all my pieces here ready to attach to my oval. I've got some of my little brads out. These are ones that I got from Amazon. Again, I'll leave a link to them down below if they still are available, but they're very handy. I'm only going to need one because I'm just going to have one arm waving around there. So I'm going to take my one arm and I'm going to have this fed in here, but I'm going to take it out. It makes it easier. And I'm going to use one of my two brads. Here I am saying I only need one. You need two for this. So we'll open up the little split pin. Now Sam recommends that when you're curving these around that you don't lay them flat, that you actually use a pokey tool or something to wrap around them, because they will work better if you use them that way. Now this can be a little bit fiddly, but it's grand. So now she's waving away there, happy as can be. And if your brads are too long, you can always give them a little trim with your scissors. So now we have the little hand. We'll pop this through here because that's the only part I'm going to have moving. So I'm going to take the other little split pin or brad and I'm going to add that through the hole. I'll flip it over, open up the little split pins, and then do the same thing that I did with the other one. I will curve this over the barrel of my pokey tool. So it's not lying flat. It's kind of hard. I don't know if you can see that there, but they're raised a little bit. And bring the light in a little bit better so you can see. So now her hand will move up and down when we jiggle it. And I got a little bit distracted playing with it there. Isn't it so cool? So the other hand, I don't want this to move, so I'm going to stick this underneath my t-shirt. Oh, that's a foot. I'm going to stick the other hand underneath, but I want this to kind of sit down like that. So I'm going to take my scissors to the top of this and I'm just going to cut that off like so. So I've cut that off, and then I can sit the other arm down like that and you won't see it. So just trim as much as you will need off of it. Again, I have another bit trimmed, so it'll just sit there to the bottom of the t-shirt. So I'll just add a little bit of liquid adhesive, and I'm using my Barely Art for that adhesive, and pop that behind here. And for the little collar on my t-shirt and around the waist and sleeves and my little logo that isn't a logo, I just used a purple Spectrum Noir marker for that. So now there's her hand. Perfect. I'm delighted with that. I'm gonna, do you know what I'm going to do while I'm here? I'm going to add her neck on. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue around here. That'll do lovely. And then her head will go onto that, just like so. So I'll add a little bit of liquid adhesive, and you don't need much. For that. Now I'm gonna stick her hair down as well. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue under there, and that will give a little bit of strength to the head as well. Lovely. Oh, that's great. So I'm going to speed up this part. I'm adding the legs to the back of the trousers. Then I'm going to put her trainers or sneakers or runners, whatever you like to call them, onto her feet. And I'm going to then add the trousers to her top. and you can have them as high up or as low down as you like, but I'm going to pop them on there, and then it'll be ready to add our foam to our piece. So I have some foam which I have doubled over, and I have cut them into little pieces, and you can see there the arm is in the up position, and we want to make sure that our foam is not going to get in the way. So I have that down there, and I know my little miss is going to be fine. So once I have that there, I want to make sure that my track that goes up and down, that isn't going to be affected by the foams. So I'm happy with that now, and I'm going to stick my Andrea down, my mini-me, but I decided, you know what, there's room on that where I can add more foam to the sides of our mechanism that pulls up and down. So again, I've doubled up some of my foams, and then I cut them in half, and I'm going to make sure that when I put the foam above her hand which moves, or her arm which moves, that those foams aren't in the way, and they're just alongside the mechanism that pulls up and down. So once I'm happy with where they are, I'll be able to stick them down. Lovely. And really, Sam reckons you don't need them, and you probably don't, but I just like the idea of when it's in the envelope and it's traveling, it's got a bit of stability behind my little person. Now I did also add some foams at the back of her legs down near her ankles, because we don't want the bottom of that mechanism to knock against them. And you'll also notice there, I didn't cut that part off down at the bottom where the legs aren't attached, because it acts as a stopper as well. So I left that in place. So now I'm going to attach my little balloon, and I'm attaching it to her hand, and I'm popping the thumb in front so it looks like she's holding the balloon. So once I had that done and I had stuck my happy birthday onto it, I then added that panel onto my card base, and I just glued it from the bottom half down, and you can see that there where it's glued in. So here we are with the finished card, and I hope you'll agree with me that this is a lovely, special birthday card. I think my sister will love it. I think she'd get a kick out of it actually. The mechanism works really great. I have added a little strip to the back. Now this is 1 3/4 inches long by 1/2 inch wide, and I've just added a little bit of adhesive to either side, and I just found that the mechanism, even though it's 2 300 GSM strips, it was kind of falling back a bit, so just add a little brace there to the back and it'll keep it nicely in place. And like you've seen, I added some sparkling gems on this, and yeah, I think it is lovely. It folds flat nicely to go into an envelope. We do have some dimension behind her, but it will go into the envelope for an 8x8 card, or if you make one, I find the envelopes that come with ready-made cards for the Craft Stash 8x8 cards, the envelopes have about 1/4 inch each way around, so there's room for, you know, if there's a little bit sitting over. But yeah, I think this is so cool. I love the idea of putting a tent fold behind the easel. Now I have not seen that done before with anyone, but so I'm not saying it's my idea, but I haven't seen it, and you can see there's no stopper or anything there. I find when I give people who aren't, you know, familiar with handmade cards and easel, they're not sure what to do with it. I've given a couple and gone in to see them, and they're standing up like that. So yeah, I think you're kind of drawn to pull it over, and the tent fold, it keeps it stable. It just sits in there nicely when it's stood up, and you can see, you know, I'm not doing anything special to make it stand. You know, you just literally put it in and it stands up. I love it. I will never again make an easel card where I put a stopper in it. I will always, going forward, have the little tent fold behind. I think it's brilliant. So I'm delighted with the finished card. I love the mini me. I think Andrea will get a great kick out of it. Now where I've placed my balloon, you know, it's kind of covering up. I could have had it tilted a little bit more that way because we've all this room here, so I could have had the balloon out that way more, but I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. It's not going to a child, it's going to my sister, who's just the other side of a big number, so I think she'll enjoy it. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have, you might give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Blonde Cards and Crafts, and ding the bell. That way you'll be notified next time I post a new video. You can share your makes with me on my Facebook group called Your Cards and Crafts. And if you'd like to help support my channel, you can click the super thanks button down below. That will help my channel. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and bye for now.